Hello. My heart right now is pounding because I'm actually going to tell you something that you all know, but I don't actually say. I'm gay, and that is a big thing for me to say. A very, very big thing for me to say. Background story about me is I've been out to most people for I can't remember how many years now, but I have. I've been out for a while, but I'm not out 100%. I have two people in my life, probably a few more, but two main people in my life that I could never ever tell about me, and that would be my mum and my dad. Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, no, no, no. You know, one day you'll be able to tell them. And things will be fine. Blah 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 blah. But no, I know more than anybody else in this world that having two homophobic parents is never ever going to become any good. To have to sit every day in a house and be subjected to homophobicness, it gets you down. And it's hard to accept yourself. And I know what you're thinking. You've said before you want to move out, but it's not that easy. I've got to get through my own prejudices about my moving out. I've got to get through so many barriers. And I know it's probably going to be the most easiest thing to do. It's like a plaster. Rip it off, band-aid, done, dusted, pain, then it's gone. But it's the worst thing for me to have to think about. It's the worst thing to think about ever. But the underlying factor is I have two parents who I love to bits, who, if they knew who or what I am, they would disown me. And I know that for 100% fact. And I know that because not a few years ago, probably a decade ago, of something that happened. So I know that if I did finally full on come out, that would be it. I'd be on my own in a world with no parent backup, and that really, really scares me. So I don't know. It's a hard thing to do. I would just love to know what goes on in their heads, what makes them think. I really just would love, or would I? That's the thing. Would I? Would I really want to know what goes on in their heads? Because, oh my god, it'd probably be quite horrific. But, I don't know, I've been raised correctly. I've been raised by them, and I've got the values where, you do things correctly. You go out with somebody, you date somebody, you find out who they are. You don't sleep around, you just, you do the whole process, and it pains me to think that, if I said I was gay to them, that they're going to think I've just squashed that down and thought, forget it. But no, I've always had that analogy. I've always thought to myself, I always like to get to know somebody first. I mean, it's the best way, and, I don't know, but, I don't know. Probably this video might help me, but I don't know, it might not. I've had so many conversations over the years, and none of them helped me because I never made the decision, or plucked up the courage to leave home. Seeing this by a guy that's been to university and lived away from home for 4 years, it's really quite weird, that I've completely changed. My whole persona, everything of me is completely changed. And, watching people on here, one in particular, Chris, Little Bit of Chris, people like you, Chris, are just an inspiration to me, and you're brilliant, and I just wish I could do or be anywhere near where you are, because it would just be amazing. And sometimes I think, why don't you just move out? I don't know. I think about it more these days than I ever have. But I just don't want to waste my money in a rental. But then it's probably the only option I've got. It's just odd. Very odd.